How's it going there, folks? Welcome back here to a Sunday. The end of the weekend is upon us here, so might as well get out there and enjoy it if you can. It's about 11:44 a.m. California time here. Sunday, August 18th, 2024. Latest activity here on the globe shows a 3.3 out here in the South America region. They're in the green flag. One of the latest earthquakes there on this Sunday. Far as the worldwide activity goes, there's our big earthquake from yesterday, the 7-pointer. Almost immediately following that earthquake there, we had a volcanic eruption up there around this area north here. Uncertain on whether this was a relationship between, I think it is a relationship between the two here, whether this earthquake caused a volcanic eruption or whether this earthquake was a result of maybe something happening further down below the area is hard to say. The 7.0 struck about 18 miles into this area and the volcano up north here a little bit. But either way, big earthquake and then ultimately a volcanic eruption there a short time later. A couple aftershock sequences coming in. One so far today, 4.4. Now, there may be a handful of smaller quakes in there as well, not showing up on the Earthquake 3D Globe or the USGS map here. So we'll continue to watch this area. It's capable of producing a 9-pointer up here along the Kamchatka. There we go. I've always called it the Kamchatka, but it's Kamchatka. All right. Had a couple folks mention that to me yesterday on my video. Kamchatka. All right, I can say that. What else we got here for today? As far as any uptick following this movement from yesterday, a little bit of activity stirring up around Japan here. They did see a 5-pointer and a couple other 4s in the mix as well. Some movement here around Taiwan. So it does look like things are intensifying across this area. And of course, this is a region here where the Japanese government, they're put out a warning for a mega quake potential here in the near future. So we'll continue to watch that area, the subduction zone there along that plate boundary. There's today's earthquake, one of the more recent ones, 5.0, 21 miles deep here into the Japan Trench. A couple other earthquakes here. Had this one from late last night, a little 4.8. So things are definitely on the somewhat of the uptick here across this area. Oh, goodness, what do we got here? 4.1. A swarm of activity stirring up in Australia. Goodness, what's going on down there? Let's go over here and see what's up. I just seen that pop up here. We'll go over to the EMSC model and see what's going on down under there in Australia. It's a little odd to see that amount of earthquake activity out here. Okay, mouse, you're getting replaced today. I don't care. I'm going to get a different mouse today. Couple earthquakes coming into this area of where is this? Outside of Perth, it looks like, southwestern Australia. I think they call this region out here southwestern. Some earthquake activity coming in here. Looks like at least a 4.6, 4.1, and a couple other earthquakes here within the vicinity of this most recent quake that we're seeing there on the globe. So some type of swarming coming in here. Could be getting ready maybe to see some bigger activity. I don't know. I mean, it's a ways away from the plate boundary. I'm kind of curious to see what's going on down there. USGS not picking up on any of it, not even showing any of the 4s. But I do want to give a quick glance out here, see what we got historically for earthquake activity historically in the Australia area. So I'm just going to go back to the year 1000 and draw a little rectangle out here across this area of Australia. Outside of Perth here, that's going to be, let me get an exact location here, roughly within about this region right here. I'm kind of curious, see what we've had out here historically. 39 earthquakes, I guess that's in the, that's in the same region here, I guess, right around where a 6.5 struck back in 1968. Yeah, that's in that same location. You guys see that just to the northeast here, where today's activity is stirring up. It looks like they just added that 4.6 here right now. USGS adding that 4.6 in the red circle there. So roughly in this location, goodness, we can see some big earthquakes out here. I didn't know Australia got that big of an earthquake event out there. A little bit of time has passed as well. 1968. 6.1 back in 1979. So this area definitely looks like it is historically active with these big quakes. And it may be the sequence of earthquakes that are happening out here right now with some 3s and 4s stirring up. This could be pointing towards something bigger out here. Yeah, 6.5. 15 kilometers deep back in 1968. A couple other quakes in there as well, some 5s. I'm trying to see what the most recent earthquake is aside from today's event. Let me see here. Looks like it's been a couple years since we've had anything above 4.5 out here. 2017 was the last one recorded on this graph. Prior to that, 2009, 4.6, a couple 4s in there as well, historically. But yeah, this area can get some big quakes. 6.5 do a little damage out there for sure. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that as we got an uptick in earthquake activity out there in this area of Australia. The latest one looks to be a 4.1, and then prior to that, let me zoom in here a little bit. Oh, this is see here, 4.6 at 1805. This one, got to zoom in a little bit closer. This EMSC model, I'm still not. Oh, you guys want to hear a mouse go flying through the room? Not a literal mouse, but a remote control mouse. 4.6, 1805. This one was 1833. So it looks like the 4.6 was originally the first one. A couple other smaller quakes in there as well. USGS just getting on that earthquake. So yeah, a little bit of sequence of activity stirring up out here today, folks. In Australia, like I say, we don't normally see a lot of earthquake activity out here. That's a little odd, but history shows us we get some big ones. So we'll continue to watch that. There's been a lot going on here around the globe here recently. All right, let's see what else we got aside from the Australia movement. Mostly, well, this is all typical across this area, the 4s and 3s, Taiwan southward into the Indonesia islands area. Almost always getting earthquake activity like that. Nothing new there. New Zealand area, a couple 3s here on the globe, mainly under North Island area. Got one down south as well with a 3.2 from late last night, it looks like. Aside from that, let's go ahead and give a glance here at California. Maybe that will fix my mouse. Sometimes, right, you ever feel like just banging on things? Maybe it'll fix it. Hey, it looks like it works perfectly. It may have been just a little speck of dust in there. I'm okay. Hey, but it works. I like that. See? Sometimes banging on things fixes them. Earthquake activity out here, 2.5 and above. Bakersfield jumping in on the mix out here again, it looks like. Getting a little bit of uptick here in Southern California. 2.5 and a 2.5. That's above the microquake level. 10 earthquakes here in the last 24 hours. This is a region that's seen the 5.2 earthquake here well over a week ago now. But got about 658 earthquakes. It seems like the number goes down each time I look at this, even though the time frame is covering the earthquakes. It's a little odd. See, back in it was the 6th of August here, so we're looking at about 12 days ago is when that 5.2 struck here just outside of Bakersfield, shaking things up. And then, of course, we had a bunch of other events take place out here as well. But this region here still showing some 2.5s here today. And that's a hefty cluster of earthquake activity. Almost 700 earthquakes here in less than 2 weeks. And that's the all magnitudes here. If you go back and just show the 2.5 and above, that a lot of the news agencies will use, it only shows 95. But you got to remember, an earthquake is an earthquake, whether it's a 2.5 or a 2.4. Just because, it only shows a certain amount here on 2.5 and above. An earthquake is an earthquake, so that's a hefty amount. We'll continue to watch this area as it is showing a little bit of uptick here today. Ridgecrest area got one little small spike here around the Los Angeles area. Let's see here. Got a 2.1 yesterday. A couple other smaller quakes out here today around various fault systems here. Maybe not on the Puente Hills thrust fault out here, but that is a region that we've seen that 4.4 stirred up a lot of news out here, capable of producing up to a 7.5, and that thrust fault runs directly underneath Los Angeles downtown area and other areas around the vicinity. So that's in realistic speaking here in terms of safety and potential future earthquake activity. That thrust fault is way more dangerous for the Los Angeles area than the big one going off here on the San Andreas Fault, and that's due to proximity, right? When you got a thrust fault right underneath the downtown area and you put a 7.5 there, that will do more damage than, say, an 8.1 over here a distance a ways. It's all got to do with location. All right, further out and about, Southern California, extreme Southern Cal, fairly quiet aside from some microquake activity. Maybe I didn't fix it. Although, I see a bunch of threes down here in the Baja California area, that cluster of threes and some twos. That earthquake activity not showing up on the USGS map, but there is some movement taking place here just further south of Southern California, roughly around here, I believe. So we'll continue to keep an eye on northbound, or this northward activity. Further north into Northern California, fairly quiet. It's been awfully quiet up here for some reason. Really haven't seen much of anything going on across Northern California. A couple smaller quakes up into Washington. Some around Mount St. Helens there. A couple smaller microquakes there in the map. Nothing big for now. The rest of the states, fairly quiet. Nothing going on. Real quick glance here at Yellowstone National Park. I don't really see anything of any noteworthy value. There is a little spike of an earthquake here. It's going to be this one. Oh, it's going to go flying. Little one right here. That looks like it's... Let's see exactly where that may be. It may not even be shown up here on the map, on the USGS map. But it looks like it's at a distance away from Yellowstone National Park. But nothing showing up here. But it is there on the graph. A little small earthquake. But aside from that, Yellowstone National Park is sleeping for now. Let's back out of here. Hawaii got a 2.0 coming in. I'm really surprised we haven't seen anything further going on there across Hawaii as far as the eruption activity goes. Still stretching up here to the summit area and a little bit down to the lower East Rift Zone. Let me give a quick glance here at the monitoring data today and see what we have. A real quick glance at the camera of the lava lake area. Doesn't show anything of abnormal activity. Occasionally we'll see steam or some gases here. You can see just a little bit seeping out through the cracks around the lava lake area. This is where the last couple eruptions were confined, aside from the most recent one, which took place right about in here more recently. It only lasted for, I think, 10 hours. And that, pretty much solidified here, and now we're looking at a migration pattern across this area recently. And it's just waiting on it. That's all we can do right now. There was a pretty sharp inflation rate here last night. That has since topped off and leveled out a little bit. But overall trend at the summit region, we are now above what we previously seen back in the end of July when that magma got displaced from the summit off to the upper East Rift Zone here. That lost a huge volume of magma, and no eruption, just a magma intrusion off to the upper East Rift Zone. And now we've gone back up here at the summit, so there's a number of things that can take place here, and we're just kind of watching that, waiting to see what happens. All right, rest of the globe here. See what we got across the area. Mediterranean region, a couple smaller quakes out here. Looks like near Iran, and some clustering going on out around the Mediterranean area. Some 2s and 3s, even a 4-pointer in there from yesterday. That's going to be out here, but really not showing up on the USGS map. A couple earthquakes there, eastern Afghanistan. Let's check out Iceland. A new day, maybe some new activity. Let's see what we have. We're starting to kick up here. 160 earthquakes down around our area of interest. Getting a little bit more active out here. Let's bring up the smaller microquakes as well. Did see a 2.5 in the mix here around the craters area. Where we've seen the last couple eruptions take place here over the last 8 months, 9 months. It seems like now 9 months, 10 months, somewhere around there. Off and on, that is. And it's definitely kicking up. I don't think we're going to see anything happen immediately, but we got to watch this because this will intensify leading up to an eruption, or just before any eruption. We always see a massive amount of earthquakes stir up here. I wouldn't call this a massive amount yet, but it is increasing in intensity just around the Grindavik area northwestward and then into the craters area. But that also includes this region right here. There's Hagafell. Sits right here. Yeah, nothing. I don't think we got anything at the surface levels yet, but let's go check out the Iceland site here, see if we got anything new going on. Probably not. Most of the time on the weekend, they're not going to put anything up unless it's a major eruption, and things look pretty quiet. Not a whole lot going on there. Let's do a little visual here, see what we got with the live from Iceland site. Nothing going on at the surface level. A little bit of steam activity out and about there, but yeah, no sign of an eruption at the surface, but we'll continue to keep an eye on that. Looks like a little bit of clouds out there. Beautiful blue sky. All right. So, yeah, that's a little interesting activity out there in Australia. We'll have to keep an eye on that. A little sequence of events going on out there. Space weather activity today. Not seeing too much movement out here, at least in terms of flaring activity. Still got a 20% chance for X-flare activity, 70% for M-flare, C-flare around 99% chance. And we're just really not getting up there right now. Seeing a little bit of C-flare activity around various sunspots. This area of dynamic activity is just about ready to hit over here across the western limb. Well, that will be out of sight, out of mind here soon enough. And we do have a couple regional sunspots here coming around the eastern limb. These are some former old spot numbers that have traveled around the Earth-facing side of the sun probably a number of times. And it's just coming back around again, along with another sunspot there on the eastern limb that we'll watch. A couple other smaller ones up towards the center disk area, but I don't know. I really don't see anything of any major interest that would spark my, hey, look at this, guys. So for now, just we'll see what they want to throw out. A little C-flare, 3.1 coming in. No major auroras expected. Suppression of the auroras last night. Really not a whole lot there in the forecast for now. Let's take a look at any close approach asteroids out here. It's been a couple days since I've checked in on this. Tomorrow we got a 77-foot airplane size asteroid coming in within about 439,000 miles. It's pretty close, but still a safe distance. I normally won't cover this in detail unless it gets within about 50,000 miles or so. Earlier this year we had one come within about 12,000 miles. So 12,000 miles compared to 439,000 miles, yeah, that's a distance. Pretty huge one here. Look at this, 630 feet. Goodness. But look at that number, over 2 million miles. Pretty safe there. Next couple after that looks like August 20th, 27th, 28th, all distant approaches from various size asteroids there. Far as the severe weather goes, looks like we got a little happy face out here across the eastern portion of the country. Maybe not little, that's a big one. And that's a little odd looking. You got a chance for some tornado activity up there in the extreme northeast area. Wind appears to be making this happy face out here, the wind threat today. So if you're enjoying your Sunday, the wind looks like it may want to stir things up out here a little bit with some some damaging wind gusts out here from some of these thunderstorms that may pop up across this area. So just a heads up for your Sunday. A little spike of an earthquake on Barrett. We'll continue to keep an eye on things out here. Like I say, that's just a little odd. Even what do we got? Another 3.2 coming in right now, or was that? That looks like 1119. So that was just previous. Either way, a little clustering going on out in Western Australia, Southwestern Australia. If I'm wrong, correct me. I'm thinking this is going to be Southwestern area. I mean, there's no other place out here that would be considered Southwestern. So, all right. Have a good day, folks. We'll be watching the activity out here and keeping updates on any changes going on. We'll catch you guys back out here a little bit later. Peace out.